Players Weekend concludes today, and many will forget that these two organizations were founding members of the American League going back to 2001. The Twins organization was in Washington. The A's organization was in Philadelphia. And they've met 2,012 times, and they've each won 1,006 of those games. Something's got to give today. It's game number 4 between the Twins and the Oakland A's. Fans arrive as the Twins will try to equal the series. This series so far 2-1 for the Oakland A's, as the Twins will look to win game 4 and equal out the series. And to do so, they'll have their all-star pitcher, Jose Berrios, toe the rubber today. And Berrios had that fabulous first half, and his numbers through the first 16 dramatically better than what we've seen in the last 10. If you look at Berrios lately, there's been a couple of bumps along the way. You look at the numbers we talked about, 8-5 through the first 16, ERA in the low 3s. Look at the strikeouts to walks, dramatically different. Last 10, ERA up close to 5, and really just half the walks to strikeouts, dramatically different. So we thought it was a good time to talk to Jose Berrios about his mechanics and talk to the manager, Paul Maurer, about what he's been seeing from his ace in the staff.
First of all, try to put it down the pass and don't think about it, what I do wrong. Just take that and do adjustment to be better the next time. So we working on it and stay on my back leg more time. So that's give me a little room and time to be on top of the ball with the hand.
I think he's a guy that he's so routine in his workouts, even here late in the season, that we've tried to talk to him about, maintaining, but maybe backing off in some things that might lead to more potential fatigue. So it's a combination. You want to stay as fit as you can, but workload does compile over a long period of time.
We'll see if Berrios and the Twins can finally get a lead and avoid that bullpen trouble against the A's. When we come back, we'll discuss the hot corner. Dick Brammer and Roy Smalley compare and contrast Matt Chapman and Miguel Sano.
Oakland A's. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick Raymer along with Roy Smalley. The A's are the hottest team in the American League since the All-Star break. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but one of them is their outstanding third baseman.
This young man, Matt Chapman, can really play that position. And the only question was going to be, how much is he going to hit? Well, we have seen in the second half what's in store for Chapman and his A's ball club. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark anywhere, and he's becoming more and more consistent with every game, getting base hits and extra base hits in droves. There's nobody that plays the position any better than this athletic young man, and he's really going to be one of the truly great young stars as he continues his career.
He is right now what the Twins hope Miguel Sano can be, if not more than that. And to that end, the Twins have seen some encouraging signs from Sano since they brought him back from Rochester.
They really have. And Miguel Sano, it was really struggling offensively when he got sent out. We have seen positive signs, not only base hits around the field, but we know he can do this. Just launched the ball at 455 feet last night on that swing. But he's getting better at using the whole field, and that's been the big thing offensively. He can make every defensive play there is, every tough defensive play. It's the consistency he's working at.
The Oakland lineup is good and deep, and Jose Barrios hopes to quiet that lineup and send the Twins on a tough road trip off a winning note here this Sunday afternoon. This afternoon, but we hope that we'll have uninterrupted baseball, and as the Twins hope to split a 4-game series against this very good Oakland ball club. Jose Barrios has got one thing going for him and one thing going against him. He's really good here, but he has struggled in day games. Bob Melvin has seen his team take off. Right now they're the hottest team in the American League, and they're hoping to surpass the Houston Astros and get into the playoffs as a division champion and not settle for a wild card spot. The Menards batting order for the A's in Game 4. Nick Martini leading off. And Matt Chapman, Jed Lowry, Chris Davis, Matt Olson, Stephen Piscotty, Marcus Semien, Ramon Laureano, and Josh Fingley.
The home furniture starting pitcher for the Twins today, the ace, Jose Barrios. We talked in the pregame show about how well he's pitched here at home. Not as well in the daytime as he has been at night, but he'll try to shut down these Oakland A's and get the Twins a split of the series.
Twins Down in the field, have Robbie Grossman in left. Eddie Rosario not in the starting lineup tonight with an off day tomorrow. Paul Molitor trying to give the regular left fielder a couple days off. Max Kepler in center, Jake Cave in right. Sano, Polanco left side of the infield, Forsythe and Austin the right side. Joe Mauer is the designated hitter, and Mitch Garver is the catcher. And Robbie Grossman's been swinging a hot bat. We've seen him a little bit more as of late in the outfield with the mix of Kepler and Cave and Rosario, and Grossman getting a little more playing time. And the batter's Nick Martini, and we're about ready to get going here. And first pitch, a strike. Barrios comes into this game with 158 2/3 innings, the exact same number and fraction of innings as Kyle Gibson has pitched this year. Fouled away, 2 strikes. And as we've said, both pitchers, depending on how the Twins play it out through September, both pitchers are on pace to deliver 200 or more innings. Inside, 1-2. Martini, Chapman, and Lowry here in the Oakland first. Check swing, but he went. I could tell from up here. They should have asked up here. You saw it too, didn't you?
No question in my mind.
1 down, and that'll bring up Chapman.
Nice moving fastball here for the strike 3, and yep, it looked like he was holding his wrist back, but the big end of the bat went across the plate. Such a subjective call by the umpires. You get all kinds of differences on that call, maybe more than any other.
Chapman takes outside, ball 1. Chapman's had a good series here, getting the batting average up to 278. Lifted foul down the right field line. It'll find a seat, and it's 1-1.
This ball game has the potential to be a terrific one in the sense of a good A's hitting team, a lineup that's pretty much up and down the lineup, fairly hot right now, and a pitcher who's got arguably as good a stuff as there is in the American League. So watching Barrios against this lineup of A's hitters has potential to be an awful lot of fun, I think.
And this is Oakland's first look at Barrios. He didn't pitch against him last year. 1-2. What the Twins want to see from Barrios, if he has 50 innings left this year, that they're a strong 50. And in August, he's had some short starts, went 5 innings in his last start, but the main reason for that, the 52-minute rain delay he pitched around in Chicago, breaking ball in front of the plate. 2-2. It's one thing to throw 200, but what do the final 25-30 innings look like? Can he dominate a team? Can he pitch 7 innings or more in a start? There's a high fly deep down the left field line, chased by Grossman, and it's gone just over the flowers and just fair. It's 1-0. Chapman hitting his 19th.
Well, it was a high curveball, really not the spot that Barrios wants to throw that pitch. And to Chapman's credit, he laid off the good one down and away. That's what Barrios is trying to throw. But you see, when you throw it right there, belt high right in the middle of the plate, good hitters are going to hit that.
And he's proven to be just that, a good hitter. Oh, my. Hope the young man didn't get hit there. Pitch up, and Jed Lowry fouls it back. 1 strike.
One of the things that I'd really like to see Jose Barrios do, and he does it kind of intermittently. He starts falling in love with that curveball, and I understand why, because he's got a terrific curveball. But the more he establishes the fastball and just pounds the strike zone with fastballs, the better and better that curveball gets. I love that pitch. I love him pitching inside and then going back to the curveball.
1-1, just missing the inside corner. Sharply hit. Oh, what a pick by Forsythe. to his glove side, but that first hop really sprung up on him, and he made the play. 2 down. And that'll bring up Chris Davis.
Nice play to stay with it. Kept his glove low until the hop happened, and then he was able to flash that leather up quickly and make the play.
Davis, the batter. Hit a home run in his first at bat, and the Twins have done a better job pitching to him since.
To your point about Berríos finishing strong, the other thing that will be interesting to see is the velocity on his fastball as he finishes out.
Inside. We saw one earlier, 91.
Yeah, he's at 90, 91 so far today. Generally speaking, it takes him an inning to get loose before he gets to the top end. But we're not seeing nearly as many 94, 95.
We're going to have a mound visit, and I think Tony Leo might be coming along too to check on Berríos. When I saw the fastball to Lowry at 91 and now this one at 90, I'm going to come out and check with Berríos and see how he's doing, because we've seen low end 93. And they have seen something from the dugout that they don't like. And no mound visit will be charged, I don't believe. That's the signal from Jansen Piscotty. And that's encouraging, because if there was any issue with his arm, I would think the Twins would have been proactive and gotten him out of there.
Well, here's the last pitch he threw. There wasn't any flinching or any face or any bad body language particularly.
And a strike called on a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. So yeah, we're interested in the velocity, and even more so now with some fastballs that have lacked some of the velocity that we've seen. So that one was 92. Three and one to Davis. Swing and miss at 90. Big hop and a pick by Polanco. No, safe at first. Austin couldn't keep a foot on the bag. The throw off target. So an infield hit. It was a heck of a pick by Polanco, but his throw pulled Austin off the bag. And Davis reaches on an infield hit. Twins had three infielders on the left side. It looked like that was going to split the gap.
We hit it hard, and Polanco with a nice extended play might have had just a little bit more time than he thought, but it was a terrific effort.
Twins took a quick look, saw Austin's foot off the bag, and now Forsythe will scamper to the left field corner for Matt Olson. This is really peculiar when you get an arrangement like this, a shift like this, with a runner at first, because of course Austin's holding the runner, and there are two infielders where a second baseman and shortstop would normally be, and then the four outfielders. One strike.
The only thing that you would notice here in particular is that Miguel Sano would have to cover in case of a steal. Chris Davis yet to have stolen a base, so maybe they feel like they're in pretty good shape.
Good changeup. 0-2. We'll keep an eye on Berríos under the assumption he'll finish this inning. See what, if any, medical attention he gets in the dugout.
I would just tell you, I don't think he has the same positive body language that you normally see on him. There's something that's clearly a little off.
Outside. Could be virus of some sort. We don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And we didn't, as you said on the replay, when we replayed his last pitch, there was no animation that would suggest to the dugout that something was wrong. Maybe they just looked at the radar readings that we give and said, hey, something's not right. And he does finish the inning with a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-0 Oakland. Until we see someone warming up in the Twins bullpen, we'll assume that he's good to go for the second inning. Menard's batting order for the Twins, down a run early, and it's Joe Mauer leading things off, entering the game with 999 runs scored. Then Logan Forsythe, Jorge Polanco, Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Tyler Austin, Jake Cave, Mitch Garver, and Robbie Grossman. Brett Anderson was supposed to start this game. The A's announced yesterday that Chris Bassett would start instead.
Well, the home furniture thoughts about Chris Bassett been up and down between AAA and the big club. Bassett pitched won his last 2 ball games. He beat Texas and beat Houston, and then got sent out, kind of inexplicably. But here he is back again, pitching a game that was supposed to be started by the left-hander that Houston will see.
Whether by design or not, that is the end result. That Brett Anderson has pitched really, really well for the A's will open up the series the A's have with Houston tomorrow night. 2-1 to Mauer. Yeah, and Bassett is a contemporary version of a swing man. It used to be a swing man was someone who'd go back and forth from the bullpen to the rotation. Bouncer toward the hole. Semien backhands it, sets and fires, and out at first. And Mauer looks into the dugout saying that as he crossed the bag, Olson had his foot off the bag. So we'll see if the Twins challenge this first at-bat play. And right away they're going to look at it. You would think Mauer, looking straight down, had the best look at it here. Oh, I don't know.
I just thought he beat it.
Foot on the bag or not?
Foot on the bag or not? I thought he hit the bag as whatever fraction of a second before I saw the ball in the back of Olson's glove. And the rule is the back of the glove. So we'll see. I don't know if there's enough to overturn it, but I felt like I thought I saw Joe's foot hit the base before the ball hit the back of the first baseman's first base glove.
Well,
so watch the ball get to the back of the glove. There's Joe on it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I think he got there before the ball got into the back of the glove.
The Twins taking, of course, a risk here that it'll be seen that way in New York. Safe at first. Mauer gets an infield hit. And that'll bring up Forsythe with a man aboard. Good play by Semien, just as it was a good play by Polanco and the Chris Davis at bat at the top of this inning. Forsythe will bat with the tying run aboard. Ball one, looked like it had the corner. 1-0 to Forsythe.
Tim Laudner and I and Anthony LaPanta this morning had a pretty lively discussion about the electronic strike zone. Speaking of that ball that looked like it had a bunch of that line in the box.
2-0. Now, I've asked Bert about it, and he's against the electronic strike zone, even though I've tried to convince him that in his lifetime we're going to have one. How do you feel about it?
Well, I am in favor of it if you could figure out what to do, what else, how you're going to work the home plate umpire into the game. I don't see logistically how you're going to do that, but I'm in favor of the concept.
There's a strike, 2-1.
So that one was a strike, but the other one was a ball. And I'm not sure there was a half inch of difference.
2-1 to Forsythe. Fouled away. I always thought that Don Drysdale, as a broadcaster, had the best attitude talking about the importance of the first three pitches. And he succinctly said, you win if the count's 1 and 2, meaning as a pitcher. Right. You win if the count's 1 and 2. You lose if it's 2 and 1. And that's a pretty succinct way of putting it, I think.
It's a wonderful, wonderful description of the reality of pitching and hitting.
2-2 now to Forsythe. Slow breaking ball, and it got him. 69 miles per hour. One down.
That's his best pitch. He's got 2 speeds of that curveball, and that's the ultra slow one. And hitters have a hard time waiting back on something at 69 miles an hour. Big dewdrop curveball, as we said, at 69. You haven't seen that before.
Polanco will bat. Again, Eddie Rosario getting the starting assignment off. And a fastball down the middle. He's trying to take advantage of Mauer's leadoff infield hit. Down and in, 1-1. Bassett has gone back and forth between AAA and the major leagues. He's the contemporary version of a swingman. This is his 6th call up this year on the ground. Long throw, and they'll only get one because of it. Lowry to Semien, and he had about a 75-foot throw to make. Polanco reaches on a fielder's choice. Runner aboard, 2 down. Let's check out the A's in the field. Martini, Laureano, Piscotty, the outfielders. Chapman and Semien on the left side. Lowry and Olson on the right side. Josh Fagley's been a pretty good backup for the A's this year, and he gets the call here this afternoon with regular catcher for the Oakland A's, Jonathan Lucroy, having had quite an impact in the first 3 games of the series. Here is Miguel Sano. down and away, ball one. Sano hit his 12th home run of the year last night. Into the third deck. Game with the bases empty. New baseball brought into play. By Fegley, the starting pitcher for the A's, the starting catcher for the A's, and the starting shortstop for the A's all came to Oakland after the 2014 season for Jeff Samardzija and Michael Anoa. So Samardzija was acquired earlier in the season as the A's tried to beef up for a playoff run. Tap foul, and it's 2-1. But at least here in late August of 2018, I have to say the A's had the benefit or the better end of the deal. They got 3 guys in the starting lineup that came to Oakland in the same trade.
And Bassett may or may not be a regular starter, but he's certainly, at the very least, a good swingman, a serviceable starter in the big leagues. Fegley proven that he's at least a good big league backup catcher. And the real win, of course, is you get an everyday shortstop that's playing the way Semion's playing. Then for a starting pitcher, that's a plus.
2-1 to Sano. Big fly to center, and it was up about as far as it was out. And it is the third out in the inning. The A's have a 1-0 lead.
To Byron Buxton. He's playing his 3rd consecutive game for Rochester today, and Paul Molitor said they're going to wait and see. They're going to make sure he can keep playing without any setbacks, and they're looking at September for certain, but he's very encouraged by the fact that right now there's nothing else going wrong. It's been such a tough year physically for Buxton. And Trevor May's velocity, we've talked about it throughout the series. It's up there. Molitor believes there's another level, and he said he knows Trevor May wouldn't mind being a closer. He also did not close the door on Trevor May being a starter next year. And Eddie Guardado very excited to go to the movie theater tonight. His son in a movie, AXL. I saw it on Friday. If you got kids, it's terrific. Eddie's taken James Rowson and some of the coaching staff to see his son Nico as one of the stars in AXL. Fun movie, fun family movie. And Eddie Guardado said he's probably going to be a little emotional tonight at the theater, guys.
What a wonderful situation for Eddie tonight to be able to watch his son on the silver screen. That's tremendous.
That is really cool.
And I think we all would agree. Kevin Gorg is our resident movie critic. I mean, if he says something's good, it might be good. Right? Sano backhands. Long throw from foul territory, but beating it out is Piscotty. Heck of a play by Sano, who ended up out near the tarp. And it's a leadoff hit here in the second. Eric Shelton on the phone, but it looked from up here as if he was plenty safe.
Terrific play by Sano. When you get rid of the ball this quickly and get it over there on one hop with that amount of authority, that's a fine play, but it looked like Piscotty was in there. No challenge.
Leadoff hit. Semien will bat. Most significantly for Twins fans, the fact that Barrios is out there pitching in the second inning after a mound visit, a medical mound visit. And the fastballs have been in the low 90s. 1-0 to Marcus Semien. Mentioned that Barrios only went 5 innings in his last start, but there was a 52-minute rain delay in the second inning, and he gave the Twins innings that they desperately needed. Coming off the short start the night before from Steven Gonsalves, and it was only 5 innings, but in terms of what it meant to the team, it was more like 7. Two 2-0 now to Semien. Low 3-0. 93 miles per hour, but out of the strike zone. 1 point, the A's were 12 games behind Houston. That was back in the middle of June. Since then, they've gone 42-16. And a strike 3 and 1.
Funny how that works during the course of a baseball season. You generally get these kinds of comebacks from a team when something else has happened to the other team. Houston went through some injuries and they lost Altuve for a while, and Correa. It was at the same time that the A's had gotten hot. That's generally how it works.
Bouncer wide of third, and it's 3-2. A's are 15-6 in August. Twins have a winning record, but marginally now at 12-11. Game and a half behind Houston. Watched some of the Houston game last night after I got home. Terrible scare for the Astros as Jose Altuve got smoked in the elbow. High fly to left. Grossman is back. On the edge of the track, makes the catch, 1 away. Good news for baseball fans. Altuve's in the lineup today. Our Sanford Health injury report. He got hit in the left elbow. Just activated on Tuesday, and he is the guy that makes that Astros team go. They play pretty good baseball without Correa, but it was just frightening to see last night because it looked like it got him in a really bad spot, and he stayed in the game, and he's in the lineup today, so that's good news. 1 down, and now Ramon Laureano. Breaking ball off the plate. I'm looking for some assurance here from you when I speculated that if the mound visit in the first inning had anything to do with his pitching arm, he would have been taken out. Would you agree with that?
I don't think there's any question about that.
So whatever the issue was, he's going to try to fight through it. 1-1.
He's acting like he knows that his fastball doesn't have the same life that it often has, and it's like he just can't get loose. Or there are times when pitchers have that feeling. It's just like there's nothing wrong with me. I just don't feel like I can get like I'm can get loose to the point where I can let my fastball go, like the fastball comes out of my hand the way it normally does. And again, I don't want to speculate either. I have no idea if that's what it is, but that's just the way he's acting. He's throwing 90, 91, occasional 92. I guess we saw 193, but usually it's all of those numbers I just recited are 3 miles an hour faster.
Back to Berríos. Off balance throw. They'll get one, but not two. So Berríos had a bullet hit right over his left shoulder in his last start. And here he's able to smile about it. And that's maybe the best sign of all, that whatever's bothering him, he still understands the irony of what just happened. Got the lead man at second, 2 down.
You can hear it hit him right in the palm of the glove. It sounded like it was a pretty good slap into there. He just, again, we've talked about what a good athlete he is. A terrific fielding pitcher, strong in his legs, quick. We saw an example of him taking that shot back through the middle and bouncing right on the ball and getting the lead run.
And now Fagley. La Máquina, the machine. That's his nickname because of his workout regimen. And I don't know, it might be nothing more than him needing a carburetor adjustment. Strike on the outside corner.
That's pretty
Player
good.
to be named later for Fagley.
When was the last time you drove a car with a car that had a carburetor?
It's been a while. 1 strike. Runner started to go, but slammed on the brakes. Laureano back to first. One and one. 39th pitch coming up for Berríos. Giving up 3 hits, including Chapman's home run. Runner does go this time. And Garver's thrown out in time, not handled by Forsythe, but it wouldn't have made any difference. It's a stolen base for Laureano.
Laureano with a real good jump there, actually. Garver comes out there pretty well. The ball tailed into the runner a little bit, but it would not have been on time. Or in time, as Dick said.
5th stolen base in 8 tries with Berríos on the mound. And as we've tried to tell you over the series, the A's don't steal much, but with 2 outs, they took a shot at getting Laureano into scoring position, and it worked. 2-1 to Fagley. Bounced foul.
If you look around the A's lineup, there aren't a lot of guys that are classic base stealing types. They're more the extra base hitting Thunder lineup, but this young man Laureano that they brought up recently and is playing a lot of center field for him, he looks like he can do a lot of things well, running included. He might be their guy from a base stealing standpoint now and into the future. I know they like him an awful lot.
Roller to short. Juggled by Polanco. It'll be an error on the Twins shortstop. Might have been caught peeking at the runner. Fagley hustling up the line, and instead of it being the 3rd out, there'll be runners on the corners now for Martini.
It looked to me like Polanco just got caught in between what he wanted his feet to do there. He was in between. He looked like he was almost going to get in front of it with 2 feet, and then came in and fielded, tried to field it on the run. And watch his eyes here. Generally speaking, no, he stayed down pretty well. It's just that I felt like he was just in between with his feet just a little bit, and then the ball hopped up on him just a little bit, and he wasn't in great position to field the funny hop.
If, as we believe, Berríos is out there less than 100% for some reason, now he's got to fight to get another out here in the 2nd inning. Down and away, ball 1, facing Martini, who struck out on a check swing to start the ball game. Berríos struck out a couple of men in the 1st inning. the knuckles into the seats. 1-1. Prior to the rain-impacted start in Chicago, the Orioles went just 3 2/3 innings against the Pirates, 4 innings against Cleveland. Started the month with a good outing, 7 innings, just 2 earned runs against Kansas City. Popped up. Sano will chase it and get there to end the inning. The Orioles pitches a scoreless second inning and pitches around a leadoff hit and error.
Let's go offense. Get Rio some runs early here for 2 reasons. Number one, it's just great for a pitcher. A good starting pitcher, you think is going to hold the other team down. Get him some runs early. Let him work with a lead. But especially against these particular hitters and this particular bullpen, let's not go into the 6th or 7th without the lead.
I was going to ask you how you define early. It's not just the first inning. Second inning
will
be considered early, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
this
right.
is early enough. Good time to get started.
And Kepler takes up and away, ball 1. He's made some news right before the game, in addition to yesterday juggling the rotation, so Anderson could pitch against the Astros and calling up Bassett for the 6th time. 1-0 to Kepler. Sean Manaea, who made their start here the other night, was put on the 10-day disabled list with a left shoulder impingement. So the fact that Manaea came out early, at least by conventional standards early, one out in the 6th inning, I guess, seemed like he was pitching awfully well, but he was taken out. Maybe that had something to do with it.
You got to believe that it did. He had only thrown into the 60s something. I think. He pitched 63 or 5 or something.
And as you can tell, he's been awake at night worrying about it. He's a little tired here today. 2-1 to Kepler. Inside 3-1 with Austin waiting on deck. For the most part, the Twins have held their own, at least against the better teams in the league. They won a series here against Houston earlier. They played the Indians toe-to-toe. Obviously struggled against the Yankees and the Red Sox. Hoping to split this first series of the year with Oakland, and Tyler Austin has had quite an impression. We've talked about Barrios pitching well here. So far, Austin's hit the ball well here.
Been fun to watch him. Big, strong kid. He can really pound the ball. Be interesting to see if he gets a lot of at-bats here between now and the end of the season, what he's going to show the club about what his role might be next year.
I think you got to give Derek Falvey and Thad Levine some credit, picking off Cave, who's shown some promise out of the Yankee organization, and then obtaining Austin as well, getting a couple of players who were blocked in an organization that's pretty deep right now in high-end outfielders. This ball lifted to the right field corner, a long run for Piscotty, and he has no play. It'd be one thing, you know, if you picked off a couple of guys who were in Omaha, you know, in the Royals organization, but these guys weren't going anyplace upstairs with the New York Yankee organization, so they get a chance here.
Yeah, you bet. And you're saying that there's no one particularly blocked in out of Omaha.
Well, there are a lot of jobs open in Kansas City that aren't open in New York.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And I agree wholeheartedly with you. I think both. I think Jake Cave has proven that he's a big league player in some capacity, whether it's every day or as a fourth outfielder. And I believe Tyler Austin's a big league hitter.
Big fly to right. Yeah, this is about as high as Sano's was last inning. Piscotty comes in for the catch, 1 away. Now you're in the financial world, and in that world, insider trading is frowned upon at the very least, right?
Well, yeah,
you get in trouble.
Not just frowned upon. Those frowns turn into something bad.
Jail time.
Yeah, that's
right.
Those kind of frowns, yes.
In baseball, insider trading is fine. And James Rowson worked with Austin, worked with Cave, and the Twins hitting coach well aware of the potential both players have. So, yeah, you can bet that they lean pretty heavily on Rowson's recommendation to acquire those players.
Well, I hope they did. I know that James thinks a lot of the upside of Tyler Austin.
Cave takes outside, ball 1.
He's a smart guy. Yep, he's a smart guy. I spent a lot of time talking, hitting with James and trying to understand his philosophies about it and what he's doing with different players. I like his approach and what he knows about the not only hitting mechanics but general approach from hitter to hitter, because everybody's a little different and one size doesn't fit all.
2-0 now to Cave. Foul back. And I know you like to talk hitting. You like to talk about it on TV. You like to talk about it with James Rowson, people who know something about it. And yesterday, I guess it was, in the daily meeting with Paul Molitor, I just asked a question. I said, have you, Paul Molitor, and Joe Mauer talked much hitting over the years? And Paul said, no, you know, we really haven't. And then it got into a broader discussion that continued on into today. 2-1 to Cave and a flip to first. And I talked with Joe about it. Paul talked with Joe about after I asked the question yesterday, kind of, well, how come we haven't talked hitting? And I think in each case, Paul and Joe said they prefer to look at hitting now. And I'll bet you that's a part of the game that's really changed. Joe told me afterwards that, you know, he doesn't really talk hitting with people, but he looks at a lot of video. He watched Edgar Martinez, for instance, you know, and Miguel Cabrera and their swings. And you can do that now so much more so than for most of your career when video wasn't even an option.
Yeah, it wasn't an option. It was just the advent of video. Being able to watch your at-bats was just happening toward the end of my career.
And Paul kind of echoed the thought today, too, that, you know, he looks at hitters and ingests, you know, what a hitter's doing at the plate visually rather than conversational. A couple of walks here in the second inning, and that'll get Garver to the plate.
Where I think the conversation part of talking about hitting and you know, from pre-video days and in a lot of my career going back through history, guys talk hitting all the time. I mean, all the time, and just trying to figure out and make sense of the mechanics of hitting. And the visual is so much better than that now. But the conversation part of it is kind of the last piece. It's like okay, so what you're seeing here, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? And being able to articulate that is helpful.
Control problems now for Bassett. He's issued 2 walks and he delivers ball 1 to Garver. James Rouse, a big believer in video, spending a lot of time looking at swings of his players. Scott Emerson's the pitching coach for the A's. He's out to try to figure out why Bassett can't throw strikes right now. A quick visit, but it'll be charged nonetheless. Second mound visit for the A's. Tying run at second with 1 away. Miss 1-1.
We're talking about hitting and video. So we look at slugging percentage of runners in scoring position. And Twins have had a good couple of weeks here in that regard. No question about that. And not surprisingly, Astros and Athletics right up there as well.
1-1 to Garver. And over for a strike.
So I was just going to say, speaking about video, have you ever, I know you play golf, have you ever had your golf swing videotaped and had an instructor? Well, yeah, I maybe.
You've seen my swing.
Yeah, maybe no one wants to preserve that for posterity. But for the viewers out there that maybe have, it can be real different than what you think.
There's that slow
curveball. Yep.
It struck out Forsythe and it just struck out Garver.
Yeah, it's a pretty nasty pitch for a strikeout pitch, but you haven't seen it. So you're used to certain speeds, 91, 92 fastball, the curveball and slider are a little bit less, but 69 miles an hour is just something you're just not thinking about. Anyway, just to wrap up on video, because the golf swing, the baseball swing can be very, very similar in a lot of ways. And if you've ever had your golf swing videotaped and you're pretty sure you're doing a certain thing, and you look at the video and you go, oh my goodness, I have some work to do. And that's where it helps hitters too. It just really fine tunes what we all used to just talk about. You can actually see. It makes a big difference.
Here's Grossman. Twins trying to get something out of the second inning threat here, at least get the game tied. Time called just as Bassett was breaking from the stretch. Grossman getting the start in left field with Rosario getting the starting assignment off. Strike 1.
And these are the kind of innings you really have to take advantage of. It's hard to put a whole string, a lot of hits together in an inning. The pitcher's going to put 2 guys on base via the base on balls. You really feel like you need to. That would be an inning you need to put some runs across.
Poked foul, 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Bassett trying to pitch around a couple of walks this inning. There it is. I was actually expecting it. I don't know what Grossman was, but I thought we might see that slow curve again. He missed outside. 1-2. Bassett's been around for a while, and he's hoping to contribute to what's been a storybook year for the A's, at least over the last few months. 1-2. And Grossman waited. He got that pitch again and rolled it to second, and that ends the inning. The 2 walks are left aboard, and it's still 1-0. Generally, I prefer these to the tape measure shots. Statcast AI powered by AWS. There's a little drama to that one. It just barely made it over the wall. Sano's big deal. Third deck, you knew it was gone from the moment he hit it.
Yeah, but you didn't know third deck. That was pretty. There was some drama for me watching how far that ball went.
Chapman's had a good series, and he takes strike one from Barrios.
I love that. He hung a curveball to him, and Chapman hit it in the seats. And the first pitch that he sees again is a breaking ball.
Roll to the right side. Barrios a little late in covering, but he will get there ahead of Chapman. And Barrios frustrated with himself. You know, it's probably a function of that ball normally would be hit to a second baseman in a normal shift, and pitchers have to adjust their thinking too. He looked up and said, "Oh, wait a minute, we had a shift on. I got to get over there."
He also forgot. Yeah, he forgot about the shift. That's exactly right. And pitchers are used to guys being out in front of that pitch. Both of those things were going on there. I'm sure you're right about that. But you could see him look and see where that the second baseman was going to make that play, and then, oh yeah, we don't have a second baseman right now.
To the left field corner and foul. 1 strike to Lowry. Well, the fastball today is what it is. It's going to be 91, 92, occasionally bubbling up to 93. And whatever the issue was that drew some medical attention in the first inning, he's just going to go pitch as well as he can for as long as he can. Breaking ball, and that is whistled through the hole on the left side. That's a base hit for Lowry. 4th Oakland hit. And it comes with 1 out in the 3rd. Chris Davis, a single his first time up. Polanco made a nice play, but his throw pulled Austin off the bag at first. Outside ball 1 at 93. What we've seen in just about every one of his prior starts, the ability to reach back for 95 if he wants to. There's 94. It's 1-1.
That's the best fastball he's thrown today. Highest velocity and great location. 94 on the corner. Don Drysdale would have liked it.
2-1.
Really like to see him. That was a changeup there, and I would really like to see him use that changeup more often as well. I think that will be the next big step for Jose Barrios. Being able to bury the fact that he's got a big league changeup in hitters' minds as well. That third pitch.
94. He's just getting warmed up. 2-2.
Seen that the last couple of starts, and that's what I was referring to. I'll be interested to see how he goes the rest of the season as we see the pitch arsenal for Barrios. He's primarily fastball, curveball. I'd love to see that changeup percentage go up a little bit, which would mean it will if he's got gets good command of it. But what I was referring to earlier is that his last couple of starts, the first couple of innings, he's decidedly down in velocity and then has picked up as he's gone on. But 90 and 91 to start this game is the lowest he's been this year.
Full count to Davis, and he got him with a breaking ball. 2 down, and that'll bring up Olson.
So much of the time when you throw the breaking ball 3-2, you have a tendency to hang it because you're really trying to throw a strike. This one was the nasty one. That's darn near unhittable, and when a home run hitter is kind of thinking fastball 3-2 and you get that one, you're going to strike him out.
Logan Forsythe just did what I had to do a lot in school. He looked to a person of authority and said, "Should I go to the corner?" And they said yes, and that's
usually they were telling you that before you had to ask, weren't they?
They said yes, go to the corner. And so Forsythe is standing in the left field corner.
This was after you got used to it and you knew what the answer was.
I misbehaved again and just kind of Point to the corner. Yeah, go to the corner. 1-0. 2-0.
That actually happened. I got with our son Jeffrey.
Oh yeah.
He got to the point where he would do something and he just walk over to the corner.
Sooner you get there, the sooner you get out of the corner, right? Why bother asking?
Exactly.
2-0. And that might have been the change up there, or off-speed pitch.
Yep. Change up. Again, he just doesn't have great command of it. Yeah, but I hope he keeps throwing it. That'd be something to work on these last starts through the end of the season. Is really work on that change up command as well.
And now outside, 3-1.
He's working on it. See, it's such a good pitch to a left-hander, especially when Barrios, when he's got his good fastball and he's throwing it where he wants to, he can come in on left-handers, get them in a hurry, and then the changeup is the strikeout pitch, or the real opposite of the inside fastball.
Now 3-2, and this will be pitch number 60.
I mean, fastball, curveball to right-handers. We've seen him, and that combination be kind of the wipeout combination for right-handers. And I think as good as his fastball is, and as good as his changeup could be, that changeup is going to be a very important pitch for him against left-handers. Number one, and number two, the ability to get deep into ball games with that third pitch, because of that third pitch.
Full count. And a long way foul. We'll know certainly more after the game, but sometimes you hear about pitchers having to find a way to pitch innings, maybe even win a ball game when they don't have their best stuff, and it just seems like this is one of those days for Barrios.
Another reason to have a third pitch.
Full count again. Big pop-up. It's Polanco in short right field. So go ahead and put F6 if you'd like, but designate it that he caught it in right field.
Is back, and he haunts one of his former teams with one of his former teams. His first home run of the year breaks a tie in the 7th. Rockies go on to score 8 in the 8th. They're tied with Arizona, leading the NL West. 7-time All-Star guys out of baseball, decides to come back, works hard in AAA, tears it up down there, and reminds the Cardinals what they might be missing as both teams come down the stretch.
Yeah, wasn't that interesting to watch last night? Holiday left Colorado, actually played for Oakland for a couple of years, and went to St. Louis. And he went to the dark side. He was a member of the media, and then he decided to play baseball again. Joe Mauer lead off the third, 1 strike, and now a ball. It's come to my attention now that you and I have different philosophies when it comes to keeping score with the defense has shifted. I said F6 since the shortstop caught it in short right field. That's up the middle. Slowed down by the pitcher, Semien, with the retrieve and the throw out. One away, scoring 1-6-3. Wednesday, September 12th is Minnesota Wild Night at Target Field. A limited number of Wild Theme Night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Twins Wild co-branded stocking cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/wild or call 800-3320. So you're keeping score over there. When Polanco caught that ball in short right field, how did you score it?
Pop fly 4.
Because of where he caught it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the number 6 man in the infield configuration, designated number 6, caught the ball. So you are right. But when I keep score because I want to be able to remind myself what's going on if someone makes a good defensive play.
Hit up the middle. Another play for Semien. 2 down.
Or if I'm looking at where a guy is hitting the ball, I kind of want to know how he's hitting against certain pitches. And you know, if I say pop fly 6, it doesn't tell me where the ball went.
Right.
That was a clean score. Mike Tucker doesn't look that clean.
That was not Justin Morneau keeping score. We saw him keep score for the first time up here.
That was scary.
With a turquoise pen.
With a turquoise pen, and there was marks all over the place that I didn't get.
2 down, and now Polanco. But that's the beauty of it. I mean, there are fundamentals for keeping score, and then you can personalize it any way you want. As long as you know what happened in the earlier at-bats, that's all that really matters.
That's exactly right. And to give you credit, I mean, what I should do is, you know, pop fly 6, then put a parentheses 4 or something.
Put an arrow.
Yeah, or something. But then I look down and I've got all these squiggles on it. And I say, nope, I'm just going to make it simple.
As long as you know. 1-1 here to Polanco with 2 gone in the Twins' 3rd inning. Slap to left and down for a hit. Polanco with a base hit. And he gets Sano to the plate with a man aboard.
Polanco continues to swing the ball, swing the bat very well from the left side, hitting over 300 left-handed. Still working on that right-handed stroke, but he is, as he has done most of the times that we've seen him, he just breaks from the gate looking like a 300 hitter from the left side.
Well, an interesting what Paul Molitor said this morning about Sano, and of course Sano had a week-long skid that saw the average fall down to 210. Hit the home run last night. Didn't mean to dribble her to second. And Sano was thrown out. We'll give Paul's thoughts on Sano over the last week or so at another time.
Continued his torrid second half hitting with a home run off a hanging breaking ball from Barrios. But after that, Jose has settled down, pitched very, very well after that home run. Even though he doesn't have his best fastball today, Bassett's been pretty good. Hasn't given up a run as yet.
And we go to the fourth inning where Stephen Piscotty will lead things off against Barrios. Piscotty singled. His first time up, leading off the second inning. Knifing, sinking fastball, swing and a miss. 0-1.
So when you don't have your best fastball and your third pitch, your changeup, not quite working, that's good hitting by Piscotty there. He got a ball in. I was just going to say it all depends on spotting the fastball, being able to get by with 91, which is velocity enough if you throw it where you want to. That one a little bit more of the plate than he wanted. Had he wanted to go inside corner, outside corner, and the ball stayed in. Had enough of the plate there. Piscotty was able to find a hole with a ground ball.
It's been a tough go for Barrios. He's been unable to get on any kind of a roll or into any kind of a rhythm. He's only retired back-to-back hitters 3 times. He hasn't retired 3 hitters in a row yet, which means he's spent an awful lot of time pitching out of the stretch. Semyon hit a fly ball to left. Sent Grossman back to the edge of the warning track. Breaking ball over the inside corner. Talked about the trade that brought Semyon to the A's along with Bassett and Fegley. Back in 2014, the A's were, as they say, all in. They had a really good team. And they went out and got more starting pitching. They brought in Jeff Samardzija. They brought in John Lester, and it cost them Yoenis Cespedes. And people who work for, follow the A's to this day say that that was a terrible trade, even though they did have a bolstered rotation. Grounder left side. Sano will go. Oh, that's a heck of a play by Forsythe to make the catch. They got the out at second base, even though Sano's throw may have pulled Forsythe off. Right now the call is out, and then Forsythe had an awkward throw to make. Right now it's 1 out and a fielder's choice for Semyon.
Everything good until there, and then the ball a little bit into the runner. Forsythe makes a nice play staying on the bag, but
had a double play if Austin had been able to backhand that throw.
I think that's a catchable ball as well. And I think it's a nice play by Forsythe, all things considered there.
1 down, 1 on, and now Laureano. Fly ball right center field. Catch made by Cave. Tool in over Fegley. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $49.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription for MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. Anyway, reflecting back on 2014, they made a couple of trades, brought in 2 really good starting pitchers, Samardzija and Lester, but it cost them the heart of their lineup, Cespedes, and they were never really the same team after that.
They really weren't.
And so in the lessons learned department, perhaps this year the A's have really bolstered their relief corps, and they haven't gutted anyone out of their regular lineup. They've added Rodney, they've added a couple of other relief pitchers, Familia, but they gave up prospects rather than the guy that made the rest of that lineup click. And it was, I mean, it was a good lineup. Josh Donaldson was still with Oakland. They had some really.
They could pound the baseball,
yes.
But Cespedes in the 4th spot in that lineup was the guy. He was the anchor. You're absolutely right. And you don't. It's not just a chemistry thing. Although that's what people said it was. Part of that issue was. So chemistry in the lineup, how everybody felt, but also just the sheer numbers. You get a lineup where 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somebody's always producing. Then you take the biggest one of those producers out of there. That's a tough deal, because they can't pick up the slack.
Squirted to the right side. Forsythe fires to Austin, and it's a relatively clean inning for Barrios in the fourth. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. 1-0 Oakland. St. Barrios with a pretty gutty performance here. Gave up a first inning home run. Twins haven't been able to do anything against Chris Bassett. A few base runners here or there, a couple of hits. Kepler, who drew a leadoff walk in the second, will lead off the fourth. Hey, I got good news for Byron Buxton fans. He has a single, double, and a triple in 4 at-bats this afternoon. And this was his 3rd game in a row that he played. And there were a lot of interested people in how the at-bats were going to look. Foul back. How the at-bats were going to look with every game, whether there was going to be any remnant of soreness in the wrist. And it sure appears like the at-bats are getting better rather than worse.
That's great news. Excellent news.
Kepler with 1 strike. Thickening clouds here. We've got a little rain system that is hopefully going to skirt us to the south. The lights are on here at the ballpark now with the darkening skies. 2 strikes to Kepler. I have no idea what the play will be eventually. With Buxton, the hope is physically he'll be able to continue to play into September. Whether the Twins call him up or not is, that's the decision made by people a lot smarter than me. They're going to do whatever they feel is in the best interest of the player. But I know this from the fan standpoint, this is a much more interesting team with Byron Buxton in center field.
Don't you feel it? I feel the same way. It's not just
high fly right center field, hit fairly well, but room for Piscotty. Still on the outfield grass, 1-1.
There's an anticipation of an expectation and anticipation of something great about to happen when Byron's on the field. And even as he struggled at the plate, and it gets frustrating for him and everybody else when he's not swinging the bat well, but there's just something about, even when he comes to the plate hitting 198, he hits a 3-hopper somewhere in the infield, and if the infielder's hair catches on fire, and it's just wonderful to watch with that speed and the potential game-breaking talent that he has. It'd be nice to have him back up here.
Austin with a fly to right his first time, up 1-0. I have always used a two-sided score sheet. So after the third out of an inning, I turn it over. And it's a subconscious thing. I look at who the first three hitters are going to be. And when Byron, particularly in the second half last year when he was playing so well, when I turn over and go, Buxton's going to hit, that gets my attention. And I think it does for the fans, too.
I think so. Well, I'm a fan. It does mine.
2-0 to Austin. A blast to center field.
You know.
My goodness. That's into the catch area and back out. There's not a ballpark in the world that can hold him.
No, there isn't, nor and from any direction, in any direction. Man, that swing, that sound. Listen.
Bang. Brought to you by Dodge. Now the catch area wasn't there when Jim Thome was here.
Oh, that sound, man.
And it did get into the catch area and bounce back out. When Jim Thome played here, both for the Twins and against them as the Phillies, he had two of them over the batter's eyes. The catch area wasn't there, but this guy's done it twice now.
That ball was launched.
We got a tie game. Jake Cave at the plate, taking inside, and it's 2-0. Now Bassett, who struggled with his control pitching to these guys in the second inning, is struggling again. He didn't walk Austin, but he fell behind 2-0, and Austin put a pretty good swing on it and tied the game. Okay, flips one foul. Here are the StatCast particulars. 433 feet.
111 miles per hour. That 111 miles per hour at that 29 number in the launch angle will generally land a long way from home plate.
2-1. Okay, takes 3-1.
You know, the thing about Austin that I've noticed, the thing that makes me excited about him is, does he have holes? Yes. Can he be pitched to? Yes. Is he still learning and doing some things mechanically that aren't perfect? Yes. But here's a big yes. When he gets a mistake, does he hit most of them? Yes, he has hit most of them. And guess what? Mistakes come up there. They come up there almost once and then back. And if you don't miss them, if you're hitting the mistakes, anybody can. I mean, let me put it another way. Nobody can get on anybody for walking up there and getting nasty pitches on the black on the plate or something, 99 miles an hour and making outs. But if you don't miss the pitches you're supposed to hit, you're going to have some fun.
Cave takes his second walk. Here's Garver, and he takes ball one. Well, it was a mistake that Barrios threw to David.
Yes.
Hanging breaking ball.
Hanging breaking ball. That mistake was a 91 or 92 mile an hour fastball down the middle. I mean, you're supposed to hit those.
And if you don't, they'll find someone else who can.
Well, but I mean, if you don't hit that one, then they throw you two nasty ones on the corner and you're out, and you walk back and say, well, he threw me that nasty pitch. Well, but you really got yourself out by not hitting that mistake. I mean, you got to make a living on hitting those most of the time.
1-0 to Garver. And Cave checked again. So far, Bassett hasn't paid any price at all for the 3 walks that he's issued. He walked 2 men in the second inning, but escaped trouble by getting Garver and Grossman for outs 2 and 3. And a strike called, and Fagley was ready to fire to first, but he didn't catch the ball. One and one to Garver. Simeon is there to flip. Barehand pickup by Lowry. What a nifty double play. Cave sliding into Lowry. We'll hope everybody's okay. And double play ends the inning. But Austin tied it with a home run. Pepsi fans of the game from La Crescent, I guess, softball team here. And they've seen a couple of home runs so far in the ball game. An impressive one by Tyler Olson. I misspoke. That is his first home run hit into the catch area. Jake Cave hit one there earlier this year, not Austin. But the Twins and A's are tied at 1, and Rios has settled into somewhat of a groove here. He's given up just the 1 run. He hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning yet. He'll face Martini to lead off the 5th, taking ball 1. Two and 0. Martini, Chapman, and Lowry in the Oakland 5th. Out the side, 3-0. Barrios hasn't walked anyone yet. He's had some warped counts like this one. 72 pitches, 46 strikes, a strike percentage of 64, and now a strike.
Well, you can tell he's really trying to make the fastball move. It's the two-seamer variety here, since he doesn't have his best velocity, and he's really exaggerating, trying to get the ball to sink and to move with his fastball. That one didn't.
Leadoff hit. Third leadoff single for the A's, and let's check in with Kevin Gore.
It's time for Built for Baseball, presented by T-Mobile. We'll go out to Chavez Ravine. The Los Angeles Dodgers blew a late lead, but they've got this guy, Manny Machado, and boy, can he blast them. Off to a slow start with the Dodgers, starting to heat up now. 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, 30th home run. Dodgers win that game 5 in 12 innings after blowing the lead late. They're trying to claw back in it behind 2 teams. They're behind Arizona and Colorado in the National League West.
And now Matt Chapman, in case you're wondering. Everybody very fond of Brian Dozier and how he's doing out there. Went 1 for 5 in the ball game last night. 1-0 to Matt Chapman.
That is a strike, and a pitcher has to have that pitch right there. That's a shame. And I would say that for both sides, and I would say that as a hitter. But I mean, that's just a good pitch.
Foul back, 1-1.
One of the things that it does when that low strike zone fastball is not called a strike. You see where the next fastball was, up in the strike zone. It can't help but influence a pitcher. Say, well, if I'm not going to get that called, I got to throw it higher than that. And that's the last thought you want in a pitcher's mind.
Remember when I started in this business?
You do? Sorry.
Just for that, I'm not going to. The point I was going to make was Tommy John, of course, had reinvented himself and was a sinker ball pitcher, and he lived in the bottom of the strike zone.
Oh, man.
And I grew tired of hearing people say, well, we've got to get him to bring the ball up, because he never did.
He was never, ever going to.
He never was going to do it. He either got the call down there or he didn't, but he was not going to throw one thigh high.
And on the outside corner.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw it on the low outside corner all the time. And he was not coming in, and he was not coming up. You're right. You're absolutely right about that.
1-2. Ground ball out of the reach of Polanco, a base hit. Scampering to third is Martini. And the A's, having seen the Twins just tie it, now are threatening to retake the lead. And Lowry will bat with 2 men aboard and nobody out.
Boy, Chapman is hitting with an awful lot of confidence right now. Watch him throw his hands inside to get the big end of the bat out in front of an inside pitch that he inside out back up the middle. Hits it sharply enough to get beyond the reach of Jorge Polanco.
Chapman hadn't hit it, he would have hit the glove. That's right where Garver's target was, down and in. Now Lowry, first and third, nobody out. Barrios has 3 strikeouts, but he hasn't struck out anyone since the second out of the third inning. Infield playing back. They'd love to get a ground ball double play here. And missing the inside corner, ball 1. Driven to right. It is deep, and it is off the top of the wall. It'll score 1. Lowry going to second, and now Grossman has some problems with it. That will allow a second run to score. The play is at third base, and he got it. And Lowry said, "No, I got in there." He hit it off the top of the padding, it appeared, and then there was a bit of a misplay by Cave in right field. We'll see if the A's challenge it, having retaken the lead 3-1. Twins are taking a look at the play too. Perhaps they saw somebody miss a base.
A fastball just inside middle that Lowry put a charge in one. Cave couldn't find the ball and then slipped going after it. Good throw.
The original call is out. They're going to challenge it, but I don't know that they're going to get convincing evidence to overturn it. Yeah, the misplay wasn't so much a fumble or anything like that, but Cave, to his credit, thought there would be a carom to the grass, and instead it kind of kicked sideways on it. So the 5th inning begins with 3 hits. The A's have taken the lead back 3-1.
See how they can overturn it. He might have gotten in there, but it sure doesn't look like conclusive evidence. Oh, I think he's out anyway.
Yeah. Sano trying to do his Javi Baez impersonation.
Yeah, watch how
drop tag.
Yeah, straight down. This is the way you tag people out. Right straight down. Don't reach for him. He's right straight down as quickly as you can. And he did a great job of it.
And the out call is maintained. Stands. It'll be a 2-run double for Lowry, and he's out with Cave throwing to Sano. Yeah, I wonder what that ball hit. It must have hit a seam of the padding.
It looked to me like
the way that it bounced.
I thought it hit the seam at the very top of the padding against the wall, so it kind of hit right into the groove where the top of the padding is affixed to the fence there.
Big swing and a miss, a breaking ball, gets strike one on Davis. Now, if you're Cave and you go back, you figure, well, sure, the ball's going to bounce back onto the grass, but it kind of kicked sideways on it. Another breaking ball, another 1-10 foul.
Right field. Let's watch to see where this hits. It comes down, right into the kind of short hop the top of the padding there. So it got a funny bounce kind of straight up into the side. Rather, he's running. He knows that ball's going to go back toward the infield, and it didn't appear. It went the other way. That's a tough field to play out there because of the different surfaces of wall that there are. There's about 3 different surfaces out there, depending on which part of the wall you're playing, and then the overhang. And the toughest part is to know whether or not you should go back to the wall after the ball or stop short and play the carom. It's difficult out there.
And then you got to play the wind too. The wind's coming in a little bit from right field, and you don't know whether that ball is going to be knocked down enough for you to make the catch. At any rate, it's a 2-run double, and Oakland has a 3-1 lead. 2-2 now to Davis. Fastball up to 94. The pitch count up to 85. Twins have a winning record in August, even though they've had only 4 quality starts. And that gets a bit of Garver and staggers in behind the plate. Safest assumption, it seems, is you're going to get one every game you catch. You're going to get one somewhere on the mask that's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah, that one even looked like it might have gotten shoulder too. Yeah, that got
the ear.
Yeah, that got him all over the place.
Now the mask won't even come
that's
back on.
Yeah, that's subconsciously saying, you know, we don't want to keep doing this, do we?
2-2. Another breaking ball. Twins have had success getting Davis to swing and miss or foul pitches back with a breaking ball, and Barrios has given him a steady diet of it here today.
It's got to be just a little closer than that. Not down the middle, but just a little closer. Yep, that was close enough. Just there.
And this will be the 90th pitch, with Barrios hoping to finish off the 5th inning quickly, pitching to Olson. And Forsythe looking in the dugout, and they said, yep, go to the corner. 4 outfielders, 3 infielders. This time there's nobody on base. Missing the outside corner. Swung through a fastball.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Twins have had success pitching to Olson up in the zone, and especially up and in, or anywhere in other than down and in, but right in under his hands, up around letter high, either in or up. They've had so far. They've had good success. And Garver's going in there again. That's where they want to pitch him. That target.
Just missed inside. 2-1.
That's what I'm talking about. The complementary pitch to that one is the changeup.
Breaking ball, hook foul.
Not as much curveball to left-handers, in my opinion. The curveball's breaking into a left-hander. You see the spin, and it keeps coming into you, even if you're out in front of it. But if you're out in front because you're worried about that inside fastball that they've been beating you with, then the changeup, the straight changeup that looks like a fastball, is the effective one.
Fastball lifted to center. Playing it perfectly is Kepler. Actually, that's Grossman, the left fielder. How would you score that?
I'm going F7 on that one. It's close enough to left field.
Hurry in and get a great deal at the Dodge Labor Day sales event. Twins just tied it up on Austin's home run in the bottom of the fourth, but the A's respond with two in the top of the fifth, and now Robbie Grossman with the sun shining. Beautiful day. Barrios has survived through 5 innings, although now the bullpen's getting loose. It'll be Grossman, Mauer, and Forsythe. Facing Bassett, now a pitch up, and he falls behind again, 2-0. 64 pitches for Bassett, only 34 strikes. He's walked 3, but none of those 3 men have come around to score because the Twins have only 3 hits. 3-0 to Grossman. Matt McGill getting loose, and it might be that everything considered, 5 innings will be enough for Barrios here this afternoon. Down the middle of strike 3 and 1.
I think a walk, particularly a walk, but a walk or a base hit here by Grossman, get the A's stirring around the bullpen too.
Popped up in foul ground, chased by Chapman, and the wind carries that out of play. Good breeze blowing in from the plaza, and it looked like that ball was going to be caught in the neighborhood of the third base coach's box. Grossman hit it high enough, and the wind is blowing strong enough to take it out of play. So a reprieve for Grossman. See what he can do with another swing. Swings and misses. 1 down. That'll bring up Mauer, his third look at Bassett. Mauer with a hit his first time up. And since the 6th of July, his average about what it was during the whole season last year.
There's so many things impressive about Joe. Maybe the most of which is just continuing to get base hits with runners in scoring position, and one of the highest, if not the highest, in baseball. Batting average with runners in scoring position. Amazing how he just continues to get hits with guys out there.
Actually hitting .305 since early July, and that is what Joe hit for the full season last year at 525 at bats. (2-0). Our leading both leagues with a .424 average with runners in scoring position.
I mean, that's an astonishing number. It really is.
2-0. Off his foot and up the line. 1 strike. Joe very non-committal about what his, I don't want to say plans are, what his thoughts are regarding next year, whether he wants to play baseball beyond this year. The sense I get is that he still really enjoys playing baseball, and as long as he can play it at the level he is playing it at, it is my belief and my hope that he'll come back. I don't know what this franchise would look like without him in the lineup. There are enough areas that need to be addressed. It would be nice for the organization to not worry about first base. He plays very good first base.
Terrific first base, absolutely.
But it'll be Joe's decision, and then beyond that, it'll be the decision of the Twins baseball department, whether they can work out a deal. 3-2.
I think Joe still loves playing the game. I think he loves coming to the clubhouse. I think he likes being around the guys. I think he likes everything about the game and the team aspect of it. It becomes a health decision and a family decision. There's a lot goes into it.
Tapper to second. Does he play for Lowry? 2 down in the fifth inning. If you're looking for a convenient ticket package that fits the demands of your busy schedule, the Flex plan might be for you. A bank of 20 tickets to use during the season any way you choose. The Flex plan gives you the flexibility to choose only the games you wish to attend all the way up until the first pitch. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/flex. 2 down in the fifth. Neither starting pitchers had a 1-2-3 inning, but now Bassett has gotten the first 2 men of the fifth, and now Forsythe takes ball 1. Forsythe with a strikeout on a below speed limit curveball, and then a bouncer to short.
It's interesting, that big slow curveball that Bassett has, he is saved almost exclusively for the strikeout pitch. He just doesn't show it much until then.
Fastball challenging.
We've seen an awful lot of that too. I've just been sitting here trying to think, what is it that Bassett's throwing up there that is so baffled the Twins hitters? And basically he's throwing 91, 92. The ball's got some movement. Here's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. The ball's got that little tail on it, but there hadn't been a whole lot extra special.
Right field corner and deep. And foul. And counts 1-2. But this is where I would think the slow curve would enter into Forsythe's mind again, having been struck out on it in the first inning.
He's got to be aware of it for sure. And what that does is it makes the hitter wait a little bit longer to identify the pitch, knowing that 69 miles an hour might be coming, and that gives the pitcher just a little bit more edge with the fastball.
And it is a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Foul back. And that hit him. Forsythe said, okay, I struck out on that pitch, and now I'm going to go to first on that pitch. now Polanco will bat. And the pitching coach, Scott Emerson, comes out again. Sean Kelly getting loose. Plenty of options out there. Kelly, we've seen Trevino pitch well a couple times. Familia, Rodney, Trinan. And it might be that Bassett will get every opportunity to retire Polanco and complete 5 innings, but if Polanco reaches, it'll be a pitching change for Sano.
Pretty good chance of that, and it'd be great to see Jorge Polanco just shock him here. This is an ambush 2-run home run, get the score tied before you see the bullpen.
Fouled away a strike.
And he had a thought of doing it too. Twins have done an awful lot of that today. We talk about hitting the mistakes. Not that at 92 or 3 mile an hour or 4 mile an hour fastball hitting down the middle is a mistake, but it's a pitch you want to hit. They've been fouling that pitch off a lot. That fastball early in counts, they just haven't squared it up.
Outside, 1-1. Long look in, and now Bassett is ready. Strike called over the inside corner. Pulled his knees back, took a strike over the inside edge. 1-2.
Yeah, that was one of the better fastballs from Bassett. Moving fastball, started inside, came back and got the corner, and it was 94. It wasn't a mediocre fastball. That was one of his better ones.
Slow breaking ball outside. We've seen him misfire with that pitch the last few innings. Early on, he was able to get some swings and misses on it, but may have lost the feel for that. 2-2. It's a ball looped to the left and down for a hit, and Sano will come up with 2 men aboard, and we'll see if the A's make a move on the mound.
I'm almost sure. Yep, here comes Bob Melvin, A's manager.
Bassett keeps the A's in the game, obviously. 3-1 ball game. Can't get the win, can't get the loss. But they called him up to give them a decent chance to win, and he's done that. Formidable, significant, a good combination of relief pitchers out of that Oakland bullpen.
They are really good. Almost everybody they run out there seems like they get at least a strikeout an inning. It just does. They don't let up. From Sean Kelly here earlier in the game, right through Trinan at the end.
Kelly pitched the 9th inning here Friday night. Faced 4 men, struck out 2 of them, including Sano, who was the leadoff man of the night. 1 strike. Just off the plate, down and away. So far today, Sano with a fly to center and a check swing grounder to second. A deep drive down the line, but it'll go foul. 1-2.
Just a little bit out in front of the breaking ball. He got the pitch to do it with, just couldn't quite keep it fair. Just a little bit too far out in front, but that was the hanger he was looking for, that we all look for.
1-2 from Kelly to Sano. Stroke to left, and a running catch made by Martini. Plenty of exit velocity for the 3rd out.
Meet our new son Maverick, and I just thought it'd be really cool to have a wingman for the rest of my life.
My name's Bobby Wilson, and my nickname is B-Dub. I think you guys can probably figure that one out.
For Players Weekend, my name is Lurch because look at me.
And we thank Trevor again for doing his Lurch signature line. You rang last night when he entered the ball game. McGill will enter the ball game now with Barrios giving up 3 runs earned over 5 innings.
Trevor May has a terrific dry sense of humor, as people are probably figuring out.
And a voice kind of like Ted Cassidy's voice, the guy who played Lurch. McGill coming in for the 31st time. He'll face Piscotty, Semien, and Laureano. Ball right field, hit fairly well. Cave is back, and it's gone. A home run. Piscotty hitting his 18th. He's 3 for 3 today.
Piscotty has been on a extra base hitting tear as well. Already has 35 doubles. That's his 18th home run.
And keeping score, and Piscotty hitting one to the opposite field.
Strong guy with strong swing. As a 6th hitter, you get a lot of chances to drive in runs. That was a solo shot, of course, but the 6th spot is an important spot, and you see there is the fill in that he got around all 4 of those bases on the score sheet. Sixth spot's a great spot in the order. Well, you got a productive guy there, and they hit behind your cleanup hitter and your 5th hitter. 3, 4, 5. That's having a good. You've got a good lineup. You got a productive guy there at 6th spot also.
2-1 the count to Semyon. You saw Adrianza in at short. He came in to pinch run for Polanco after Polanco singled. So we'll try to find out what the reason for that move was. Foul back 2-2. Two and 2 to Marcus Semyon. It's in pretty well to center, but Kepler has it in range. It's out number 1. Today's your day. Happy birthday to Justin. He just won $100 in scratch tickets for being our feature in today's Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle. If you're game for a little excitement, say I'm in. T-shirt there. Best teams ever. NDSU and the Twins. Laureano the batter. That's hit well to left. But Grossman's there. Deep fly for out number 2. And bring up Fagley. Fagley reached on an air charge to Forsythe. And hit a ground ball to Forsythe. Hey. 1-0. Crosses the line and sees it bounce on the roof of the dugout. Hayes with 2 home runs today. The home run by Piscotty pushing the lead out to 4-1. And now the game is in the hands of a really good Oakland bullpen. Look at this Oakland lineup. They've got pop throughout.
Yes, they do.
2nd spot through the 7th spot, all double digits in home runs. Outside, 2-1. Here's Mero Petit. Might get the 6th inning with Kelly getting the final out of the 5th. Foul back. Oakland A's have lost 1 series since the middle of June. 1.
Yeah.
The best the Twins can hope for here is a split of a 4-gamer. It's to left center, down for a hit. It's going to run all the way to the wall. Fagley has a double with 2 outs in the 6th. That'll bring up Martini.
Well, the data says evidently that he's not supposed to hit the ball there. Playing him straight away. The left fielder, the right fielder swung way around to right center. And he gets a breaking ball, gets out in front of it, but gets enough of the big end of the bat to drive it into left center where nobody is.
Martini has struck out, fouled out, singled, and scored. Last night, the Twins were done in with an awful lot of clutch 2-out hits by the Oakland A's. At least the 4 runs they've scored here have all been done in the front of an inning rather than the backup. 4 runs is 4 runs, but really frustrating when you're out there as the Twins pitchers were last night and can't get that 3rd out of an inning. One and one. We've seen the Twins much more active in doing that. You can see Adrianza creeping, tiptoeing toward the second base bag. We can see it from up here. Generally, it seems like 1 pickoff to second or third per game now. They're really trying to work on that pickoff at second base. That might have been a cross up, and Garver might have had a throw to third, but he tried to barehand the carom. Not sure what happened there, but McGill delivered it up and away, and like Garver wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, it sure looked like a cross up.
Pass ball charged to Garver. Fagley to third with 2 down, and the count's 2-1. Now 3-1.
Generally, you can tell when a catcher's crossed up by the signs. Pitcher on a different sign than the catcher. As the catcher will go out there and make sure what they are. Doesn't have to do it now. The runner's no longer at second, so we won't know for sure. But it looked like he was totally surprised by that fastball.
There's a breaking ball over. 3-2. Boya getting loose. Can't let this get any further out of hand here. A big man to get for Matt McGill. And Kepler will make the catch, and McGill got him. After the home run by Stephen Piscotty, it's 4-1. Kevin Gord.
I'm always impressed with great hands on a baseball field. It's like, well, yeah, well, what?
That's
just
an old
stay protected.
Right there.
Just stay behind protection.
Kyle Gibson. Outstanding work. 2 different drafts simultaneously going on. He was joined by some of his teammates, Odorizzi, Bobby Wilson, Logan Morrison. All kinds of great money raised. Over $20,000 raised to help out the Twins Community Fund, Help One Now, and the Big League Impact Group. Gibson has a good team. Very proud of the fact that he's got the Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins and Adrian Peterson. And guys, I'm embarrassed to say it, but at age 51, the hands and the coordination isn't what it used to be.
Well, I'm glad you threw the age in there, because that at least suggests that they were better at one time than they are now. That's encouraging.
I'm betting against that, though.
Goalies and catchers prefer to get in the way. They don't do it the style. They just get their body in the way, and that was what I was for.
Wait. You got Laudner mad at you now.
Well, he is what he is, right?
Your job was to stop what was being propelled at you, not to catch it necessarily, right?
Yeah, and I stopped that one. I gave up a rebound. It hit me twice, so I get credit for 2 saves there if we're scoring a hockey game.
2 strikes to Kepler, getting things started in the bottom of the 6th against the new pitcher, Yusmeri Petit. Right field corner. Headed to the wall, and a great diving catch in right by Piscotty. Stephen Piscotty with a great catch, barreling into the right field corner.
Terrific play by Piscotty, tracking this all the way. This looked like an extra base hit right off the bat. You can see Piscotty takes a great route right to the ball. Dives just at the right time.
One down instead of a double. It's the first out. And now Austin, who homered into the catch area for the lone Twins run so far. Swing and a miss.
We've talked an awful lot about what makes the Oakland A's a good team. We've talked about their bullpen. We've talked about the extra base hit capability up and down the lineup. They can throw some leather on you big time too. And we just saw an example of it in the outfield. All the outfield guys make plays like that. Chapman's as good as there is at third base. Olson, they're talking about Gold Glove at first.
Popped up and reached the seats down the right field line. Time now for today's Coors Light refreshing finish. Refreshing to everyone who had their meal disturbed in center field.
Refreshing to everybody who likes to see a ball absolutely crushed. That is a strong, strong young man.
2 strikes from Petit to Austin. Fouled back. Buckner warming up. Lone lefty in the Oakland pen. Foul back. Just catching the carom by Fagley. So Austin's hit enough to tease Twins fans into imagining what 500 at-bats might look like next year. 161 at bats and 13 home runs. So roughly a third of a season, he's got 13 home runs and 31 runs batted in, and 11 walks and 65 strikeouts. So you take all the numbers, not just the good ones, and you multiply them by 3, and that's what you might get if he were to get close to 500 at bats. 2 strikes. That's hit to right and deep. Austin has 2 today. Just over the wall and right. And it's 4-2. Now number 14 on the year.
And his last 3 home runs have gone right field, center field, way back, and right field. Look at this, ball up and away. He goes with it. And he is so strong. Just flick that ball into the plants over the right field fence.
And now Cave, who's walked twice. Bounced up the line, right to Olson. And that's the second out of the inning. Bring up Garver. Again, my kind of home run was 98 miles per hour off the bat. Just barely cleared the wall. There was that suspense. Did it have enough?
It's one of my favorite kind of home runs because it was a 2-strike battling outside fastball, flick it the other way and hit a home run. And don't try to pull it. With 2 strikes. That's a good at bat right there. Some of his best swings, a really encouraging thing, besides the fact he hit the ball, he can hit it 800 feet. Some of his best swings that we've seen have come with 2 strikes. And that's the most encouraging thing. A guy that's willing to hit the ball the other way like that.
And the strength of to be able to hit a ball into the catch area over the batter's eye, that's impressive. But we've also seen him hit the ball right off the end of the bat and still be strong enough to muscle it into the outfield. I mean, it's not just the strength comes into play, not just on the home run balls.
Exactly right. Now, he got that ball, that home run down toward the end a little bit. That's why it was only 94. And
now Garver goes the other way, and Piscotty won't get this one. Garver rounds first, heading for second, and he is in with a double. Where would this inning be without Piscotty's great catch off of Kepler to begin the inning? And Grossman will hit, representing the tying run.
Well, speaking of having good at bats and going with pitches that are away from you, Garver has shown the ability to do that as well. Another strong hitter. Goes out, one hops the right field wall. Another good piece of hit.
Grossman has bounced out and struck out. At the knees, strike one. A really good 6th inning for Stephen Piscotty. Hit the home run in the top half. Made a great catch to begin the bottom half, and now the Twins still get the tying run to the plate. And now 0-2. Blocked by Fegley, 1-2. Bassett went 4 2/3 innings. Kelly got a line in them to close out the 5th. Twins have hit 4 balls really hard here in the last 5 at bats against 2 different pitchers.
See if Robbie Grossman can battle out a base hit or a walk or something here. Joe will get to the plate against the left-hander warming up in the bullpen. Victor.
Grossman takes ball 2. Three and 2. And Bauer on deck. Grossman asks for time. Twins creeping up in the hit department. A couple of extra base hits here. 6 on the game. The only 2 runs on Tyler Austin's solo home runs. Flip foul over the tarp and out of play.
It's one of the things that Robbie Grossman does so well. He sees a lot of pitches because he won't, just very, I'm going to say won't, relatively speaking, very seldom swing at a bad pitch, and he makes the pitcher throw the ball over the plate.
Fighting the son, Chapman makes the catch in foul territory. The Twins get a couple of extra base hits and get a run back in the bottom of the 6th. Game with the A's in front.
A lot of long balls today. Matt Chapman of the A's in the very first inning stays hot. He's been on fire in the second half. On fire. How about Tyler Olson? A bomb into the catch area in the 4th inning, a solo home run. That was his first of 2. And Stephen Piscotty in the 6th. A big blow. Been a lot of home runs today for a 4-2 score. A bunch of solo shots.
It'll be Matt Chapman leading things off against Matt McGill, who gave up a leadoff home run to Piscotty in the first inning of work. Twins getting just 5 innings from Jose Barrios. Blasted to center. Chased by Kepler. Gone. Another leadoff home run against McGill. This time it's Chapman, his second of the game.
And fuego, as the players say. This young man has just blossomed here the second half of the season.
Now 9 home runs allowed by McGill in 46 2/3 innings.
Fastball down the middle that he just puts a charge in.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. And the lead is back to 3. Lowry will bat. His double in the 5th produced the only runs not scored on a home run by the A's today. Scored a couple of runs and he was thrown out trying to go to third base.
We didn't show you Jed Lowry's 2-run double that in our story of the game, but it just reminds me, where would the A's be? They were 12 games back of Houston at one point in time early in the season, as you mentioned. But I'll tell you what, And we look at the StatCast of Chapman, 104 miles an hour off the bat. But he's got such a pretty swing. Just a quick, big end of the bat directly to the ball type of swing. He's going to be a star.
Swing and a miss, 2-1.
But just to finish up on Jed Lowry, where would they have been without the way he carried him? He and Chris Davis early in the season, until the younger kids got it going. Olson and Chapman and some of these other guys. Lowry's been so solid all year long.
The reason he's hitting third, he's had a really good year for the A's. There goes a drive to right, and that ball's not coming back. A home run for Lowry. He's got 21 home runs. It's been a tough afternoon for McGill. He's faced 6 batters. He's given up 2 home runs and a double.
Yeah, one of those games where he's just not fooling anybody. These Oakland A's can hit the ball out of the ballpark, as we've talked about. Jed Lowry just continues a marvelous season. It's not that he's throwing nothing up there, 95 miles an hour, but it's straight and it's been in the middle of the plate.
Four solo home runs for the A's, and McGill checks out, having a disappointing outing here this afternoon. Will face with the A's hitting 2 home runs and chasing Matt McGill here in the 7th.
Taylor Rogers on to pitch against Chris Davis and beyond. And this is going to be another one of the interesting stories the rest of the season for me. So you look at Taylor Rogers' numbers this year. He's so good against left-handed hitters. And the big question for me, and I think for Paul Molitor and the rest of the Twins.
Breaking ball popped up behind second base. Forsythe with the catch, 1 away.
Will be, is Taylor Rogers exclusively a left-handed hitter specialist, brought on almost exclusively to get left-handed hitters out, or can he be a late inning guy that can succeed against both sides of the plate that he's pitching against? He's shown some flashes of getting better against right-handed hitters this year.
He's added a quicker breaking ball. He's got the slower breaking ball, but he's ball hit up the middle, and the lefty gets a base hit. First and second batters each jumping on the first pitch from Rogers. And that'll bring up Piscotty. Last year Rogers was really good against lefties, giving up a 173 batting average and a 287 batting average to right-handers. And the right-hander's coming into his outing here today, hitting just .265. So there is been some improvement.
Yep, he's been clearly better.
And live, everybody's trying to ambush Rogers. Piscotty jumped on the first pitch and fouled it back.
Everybody knows about the breaking ball. They don't want to get there. Especially the left-hander. Not surprised at all the left-hander swinging at that first pitch before he ever sees that breaking ball.
Breaking ball inside, gets a swing and a miss. What we saw Friday night, last night, might be seeing it again, is what teams have seen from the A's all year long. Their ability to add on runs, score late. And here already in the 7th. Well, starting in the 5th, I guess. A couple of runs there. 1 in the 6th and 2 here in the 7th already. 0-2. So yeah, as I think you aptly put it yesterday, when you score more than the other guys in the late innings and they don't score at all, you're going to win some games.
You're going to win some ball games. Leading the majors in scoring runs after the 7th. And what are they, 54 or 55-0 when they're ahead in the 7th. So what do you think?
Speed pitch gets a strikeout of Piscotty. Bring up Semien. Stretch it out on the grass at Target Field for Yoga Night, presented by United Healthcare, Wednesday, September 5th. Participants will receive a Twins branded yoga mat, Twins game tickets, and an on-field yoga class. Reserve your spot today at twinsbaseball.com/yoga. Semien will bat. Another off-speed pitch taken for a strike.
There's the slower one you were talking about.
Well, whatever, it seems to be working. You know, for a while, Taylor Rogers was tinkering with a changeup to try to keep the right-handed batters off balance, and instead he's added a second breaking ball, which has the same effect, I guess. There's another one, and a ball dribbled to Adrianza. They get the force at second base, and Rogers cleans up the 7th inning, but the A's strike with McGill on the mound. Both Chapman and Lowry hit home runs, and now it is 6-2. Last game of the homestand, yet another reason why it's our pleasure to bring you God Bless America.
Fans, please rise and welcome back the Land O'Lakes District Barber Shoppers under the direction of Mr. Paul Wigley as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
Sports Update. Their second year in Minnesota produced the first no-hitter in Twins history. Jack Kralik was the pitcher. He did it on 97 pitches and actually took a perfect game into the 9th inning, losing it on a walk. But the Twins won the game 1-0 on a no-no by Kralik.
Kralik, along with Jim Cotta, pretty good 1-2 punch from the left side in the early Twins rotations. Of course, Camilo Pascual from the right side. 1 strike to Joe Mauer, with Buckner coming in to pitch for the A's, now projecting a 4-run lead. Just outside, 1-1. Mauer with a single his first time up. 1 for 3. Twins have just 6 hits and have only scored on the 2 Austin home runs. On the ground, backhanded by Lowry. 1 away. That will bring up Logan Forsythe. Forsythe is 0 for 2. He was hit by a slow breaking ball to reach base in the 5th inning. Oakland coming into the game with a 3.73 team ERA, 5th in the American League, behind Houston, Boston, Tampa Bay, and New York. The Twins are 10th, trailing Cleveland, Los Angeles, Seattle, and Detroit. Oh, 2.
Is Detroit a surprise to you?
Yes.
List? It is to me.
Yeah, given everything that they've done to the pitching staff, the trades and such. You can see the A's with a very stingy ERA in the last 30 days. Just generally, I think the Tigers have been a pleasant surprise. Losing to the White Sox and Michael Kopech today, 7-2. But going back to this time last year, the Tigers went into downsize mode, trading Justin Upton, Justin Verlander. Pitches up, 2-2.
You generally don't expect a team to be in the top 10 in ERA as a staff and having a tough year that they've had. So it just was a bit of a surprise. Everybody else at Tampa Bay's having a decent year, but the top teams are in ERA are the ones that are right there for playoff spots.
Fly ball to left, hit right at Martini, and that is 2. That'll bring up Adrianza. Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 150 plus. You can choose from the intimate Premier Suites, flexible event suites, luxurious Puckett Suite, or the spacious Skyline Suites. No matter what you choose, food and beverage is included with every purchase. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS to schedule your suite at Target Field. Adrianza entered the game as a pinch runner for Polanco, who left the game with leg cramping and tightness, 2 symptoms typically associated with some dehydration. At any rate, an off day tomorrow, and the hope is Polanco will be ready to be in the lineup Tuesday night at Progressive Field. 1 strike. On the ground, Semien scoops and fires, and it's a quick 1-2-3-7 for Buckner. since the players enjoy it, having nicknames and allowing them to display a little more personality and basically making the baseball uniform ununiform. With shoes, custom made, nicknames. Rogers had a good finish to the 7th inning. He'll start the 8th. Twins bullpen in pretty good shape in advance of the off day tomorrow. They've had some short starts along the way. Odorizzi going 7 innings the other day really helped, and everybody will have a chance to rest up tomorrow. Team flies to Cleveland tomorrow evening. 2-0 from Rogers to Laureano. Driven right, and a sliding catch in right by Cave. We've seen Cave unafraid to get grass stains in the outfield, and he made a nice catch there for the first out.
He likes making those attempts. He got a wonderful jump on this ball. Great read off the bat. He's charging right away, draws a beat on it, and falls into the ball. That's, as we saw with Piscotty making that nice catch toward the right field line. Outfielders oftentimes, it's not like a full out dive. It's just a fall into the ball to get the glove as close to the ball as you can, as quickly as you can, even if you don't have to dive. But you can't keep your feet and make the play, so you just kind of fall into it. It's one of the things that made that play was the jump he got on the ball off the bat.
Hooked foul into the netting over by the camera. 1-1 to the player to be named later. Breaking ball hits the corner. Trevor Hildenberger getting loose.
Hadn't pitched in a while. Get some work in before the off day. Be ready for Cleveland.
High fly to center. Kepler's over to make the catch. 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Martini due up. He's 1 for 4. Paul Molitor to the mound. Good outing for Taylor Rogers. He faced 6 men, retired 5 of them. So Hildy will come in to try to get the last out of the 8th and presumably the 3 outs of the 9th. 6-2 Oakland.
Guardado because they think I look Eddie Guardado.
I chose Hildy this year. I was going to do the burger emoji, but I was told that we couldn't do emojis. And then Brad Boxberger came out with a box and the burger. So I'm a little jealous, but maybe next year I can be a little more creative.
And he's been creative on the mound. He's found a way to adjust as the league has adjusted to him. And the hope is the adjustments will keep coming because he's right now the Twins closer. We'll try to get the last out of the 8th inning here with the bases empty and 2 down.
When you talk about adjustments, got around the league, he had gotten everybody out with that great changeup from the. It's great because he throws it from the side, which is unusual. He throws it very slowly. He's got great arm angle. Everything about it is different than hitters are used to. But hitters started understanding that, just started looking for it.
The check swing dribbler and Hildenberger will fire to Austin to end the inning. A 1-2-3-8. Now the Twins get a chance to hit, trying to trim back a 4-run Oakland lead.
Stay with us right after this ball game concludes for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We will take a look at young Tyler Austin. The power surge continues with a couple more bombs today. Matt Chapman, third baseman for Oakland, has been a thorn in the side of Paul Molitor's squad. We'll bring you inside that manager's office, hear from him on this series, and look forward to the Cleveland series. And as a special bonus, Prism Research brings us our Twins final pitch. You can find that at the Fox Sports North Facebook page, an exclusive recap of what happened here, and Tim Laudner's thoughts on what happens on the road as the Twins will leave, as you mentioned, Dick, tomorrow night.
There's Fernando Rodney making second appearance against the team that he spent most of the year with, of course, the Minnesota Twins. Look at what he's done. Most of those numbers accumulated as a member of the Twins, but he's done really well for the Oakland A's. Chad Pinder now is in left field.
Rodney's a great acquisition for the A's. You have the luxury of a couple of closers already in Trinan and Familia for the 8th and 9th. You add a veteran closer that still has good stuff, and as we know, Fernando Rodney, and now you've got a three-headed monster that as good as anybody in baseball to end the game.
Sano takes low, ball 1. Twins had a chance in the 5th inning. They had Sano at the plate with 2 men on and 2 out, and he hit an absolute rocket to left, and Martini, the left fielder at the time, made a nice running catch towards the line. Now a sharp ground ball base hit to left. And Rodney, as good as he was with the Twins, has been even better with Oakland in limited duty, of course, but 7 innings, just one walk, one hit batter, 7 strikeouts, and that's just the 4th hit that he's allowed. Sano with an opening single in the 8th. And now Kepler. Now the 5th inning ended with a loud out, and the 6th opened with a loud out. Kepler with a line drive to the corner, and Piscotty made a great diving catch. The Twins went on to get a home run and a double later in the inning, so there was another chance that the Twins might have had to have a bigger inning, but Piscotty got that all-important first out with a great catch. 1-0. And now a strike.
Two-pitch pitcher, 95, 96 mile an hour fastball, and just a wonderful changeup. That's it. Been doing it for a long time with those two.
And now 2-1. Makes the Oakland bullpen even more interesting. Chop to the right side, and they'll try to get the force play at second, and they do. So no force, one away. Kepler reaching in a fielder's choice. They'll bring up Austin, a fly to right, and 2 home runs. 1 to center into the catch area above the batter's eye, and 1 to right field.
Well, this ball was absolutely crushed. It'd be interesting to see if the catch area were not there, whether that would have gone all the way over the batter's eye or not. But this was maybe as impressive, if not more so. A 2-strike battle, fouled off pitches, got one in the outside corner, upper outside part of the strike zone, and just flipped it into the right field flower area for his 2nd home run.
Fastball's up, ball 1. Make a comment about the Oakland bullpen, how one of the things that makes them interesting is where they came from. I mean, there aren't homegrown products here for the most part. These are all imports. Rodney from the Twins, Kelly from the Nationals, Familia from the Mets, Trinan last year from Washington, Pagan. I mean, they've done some cherry picking throughout baseball to put together this really impressive bullpen. 2-0. If the focus 4 years ago was to bolster the starting rotation, the clear emphasis here this year has been to bolster the bullpen. Up the line, slowly hit. Chapman fires to get Austin on the play. Kepler goes to second. That'll bring up Cave.
Well, I think the point that you made earlier was it was the most important one, and that is they made a big mistake trading Cespedes for starting pitching and kind of ruining what they had in the everyday lineup, trying to get starting pitching. The pitchers that they've added in this year, when it looked like they were going to have a chance to be a contending team, has cost them prospects, but not anyone that would ruin the departure of whom would ruin the chemistry and the performance on the field. And there's a big difference between those two things.
1 strike to Cave. The Twins' return for Rodney was Class A pitcher Dakota Chalmers, who's out for the year with arm problems, but he's very hard thrower, has great stuff. He's a project for the Twins now to try to get him healthy and allow him to develop within the system with the stuff they hope to be a front of the rotation type guy. 1-1. But if you're the Oakland A's or the Kansas City Royals or Milwaukee Brewers, unless you are in the upper crust of baseball's economic strata, you've got to attack and retreat these days, it seems. You've got to figure out when you're poised to do what Kansas City did. Get to the World Series back-to-back years, win one of them, and then you've got to almost necessarily retreat. Wish it weren't that way, but that's, I mean, there's still some tremendous economic imbalance in the game. Cave fouls it away, 2-2.
Well, what I like about it, the one thing that's good about it is about the scenario these days, the environment, the industry, is that front offices have to be great front offices now. They have to put together a scouting system and a draft system where the drafts are always good. You can't afford to have bad drafts anymore, or the retreat is going to be a long time coming, and then you have to be courageous enough to do as you suggest, which is when guys are getting to the outer limit of their careers and their productiveness, you have to have the courage to trade to supplement your drafts with young guys, young bodies that just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, to the big leagues. And that's the only way that you can build a successful organization now.
3-2. Cave at the plate, and he takes ball 4. Now Garver will have a chance with 2 men aboard. A single to start the inning, now 2-out-1. And Garver has a chance to get the Twins right back into the game here with a big fly. Right around the strike zone, but he missed inside. Garver doubled to right his last time up.
What we saw from that array of pitches there quickly, pretty good job by Cave of looking for a pitch he can handle, not getting one, and not offering it at tough pitches to hit, because they were all close, as you say.
That gets by the catcher. Now a base hit to the outfield might cut the lead in half. Rodney delivered one way out of the strike zone, but that's a ball that Fegley probably should have caught. Pass ball is charged.
Yeah, he just threw that ball by and threw it by his own catcher.
Swung on and missed. Rodney's yet to give up a run as a home run, eh? Two-out hit here from their catcher. Make things more interesting in the ninth. Check swing foul into the net. It's 1-2. One and two. Fouled away. It's 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, the old guy still has it. I mean, he can throw 95, 96 on a regular basis, can reach back for 98, and then that changeup that's 81, 82 miles an hour. He throws at the very same body motion, the very same body speed, the exact same arm speed as the fastball. It's just one of the most deceptive pitches in the game.
Grounder towards the hole, backhanded by Semien. He sets and fires. Play by the shortstop, and the Twins strand 2 in the 8th.
first time up against Jose Barrios, got a hanging curveball, hit it just over the wall. He would get a base hit up the middle and then hit a bomb into the bullpen. 2 home runs and a single. And what we haven't seen, and I have mixed emotions about this, because what we haven't seen is all the spectacular plays he can make defensively at third base. And I hope at some point in time Twins fans against some other team get a chance to see him make some of those plays. I didn't want to take hits away from Twins hitters, but he can some kind of play at third base spot.
Be all right if he took some hits away from Giancarlo Stanton in the playoffs. You'd be all right with that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, Chapman with 2 home runs with the bases empty for the A's. Austin has 2 of those for the Twins, but the difference is some of Chapman's teammates have chipped in. Lowry with a 2-run double, Piscotty with a home run, Lowry with a home run, and Hildenberger bounces one. That's a fair ball to Sano, who sets and fires. 1 away. Bring up Lowry. When you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, you get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock, weekdays at 4 p.m. Central, only on FS1. 1 gone now. Lowry, he's got 3 hits and 3 runs batted in. Strike on the outside corner. Twins have a tough road trip coming up. 3 in Cleveland, then 3 in Texas against the Rangers, and then 3 in Houston against the Astros. Inside 1-1.
Okay.
Back, change up. Sent to the screen. Night game, day game in Cleveland. We'll be televising the first 2. And then we'll pick up the broadcasting again Friday night in Texas all the way through the balance. Day game on Monday, Labor Day, since it is a holiday. One and 2 to Lowry. Outside, 2-2. Blake Trinan will get the 9th inning, even though it's not a save situation. And now 3-2. You'd have to think Bob Melvin would be the top candidate for manager of the year based on what he's done with Oakland, but my goodness, you got to give Kevin Cash some consideration too. The Tampa Bay Rays won their 8th straight. They swept the Boston Red Sox, and they've divested themselves of just about every player you've heard of. The ball hit well to left, but Grossman's back to make the catch for out number 2. From Denard Span to Chris Archer to Nathan Eovaldi. I mean, they've all been traded, and yet they've won 8 in a row. And right now they're 70 and 61, 9 games over 500.
Well, evidently they let all those guys go because they had better guys waiting to play. I don't know. Cash has done a good job. The young guys over there in Tampa Bay have come on. But much like this Oakland team, I mean, you knew Chapman was a good player. Was a good player in the waiting, you know, getting ready to be a good player. You knew that the first baseman Olson could play good defense and hit the ball at the ballpark occasionally.
2-0.
Chris Davis was going to hit 40 home runs and strike out 200 times. And, you know, but then all of a sudden guys are just playing better. They've all enhanced their games up to closer to where I think the front office thought they would be at some point. They just didn't know when.
There's a strike on the outside corner.
Really, the Twins are in the same position. I mean, if and when Buxton and Sano take the next step, just missed outside. I mean, that's a just miss. They call it a strike.
Yep. There's back to the breaking ball for strike 2.
But you know what I'm saying. I mean, the Twins are in a position where Kepler, Rosario, Buxton, Sano, Polanco, the next level for them, if all reached at the same time, you're going to see the same kind of thing happen as it happened with the Oakland A's.
And Davis strikes out, and he had a really good start to this series, but the Twins have pitched him tough, and Hildenberger has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Chapman has had himself quite a series here, and a great series finale with a couple of home runs. The Twins have their work cut out for them. They got one against Blake Trinan when they won a ball game here on Thursday night. Now they're going to try to get 4 against him. Robbie Grossman will lead things off.
You look at those numbers and you realize the long odds.
Strike at the knees.
And to add insult to injury, you have to go up there and hit in the shadows.
Grossman has bounced out, struck out, and fouled out. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Grossman looks away. Well, Seam might have caught the box.
Seam caught the box.
Up the line, foul. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes from here on out in the American League West. That's really the only place where there's any drama. Which 2 of the 3 teams will get in, and in what placement? Who will win the West? Who will win the wild card? There's a 4-game spread now between Oakland, which would be in the wild card chair right now, and Seattle. High fly to center. Playable for Laureano. 1 down. Verizon projected starters for Tuesday's game with the off off day tomorrow. Well, Gibson will go for the Twins. And Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Indians, depending on what happens between now and the end of the season, the Indians might have 2 20-game winners. Kluber's got 16, Carrasco's got 15. Taken low, ball 1 by Mauer, 1 for 4 with a single and 3 groundouts.
I think it's worth mentioning again. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher throw 99 miles an hour with the movement that Trinan gets. I just don't know that I've ever seen it.
Zach Britton from the left side would get up to 97 with that incredible, ungodly break of sinker.
I don't think he knew which way it was going. It would go both directions, and I don't think he knew which way it was going to go when he left his hand. Has been the most amazing guy to me, but this guy's closing in on him for me now.
Right back to the mound. 2 down here in the ninth.
I mean, that amount of sink and that ground ball, and Joe hitting over the top of that ball like that. You're seeing that from somebody that throws 93, right. not 99. 99 when the radar gun flashes 99 is because that ball is straight and thrown rocket hard. And this is nasty stuff.
Down and away, ball 1.
He's like Roy Halladay with about 3 or 4 more miles per hour.
But you wonder if Halladay is just a 1-inning pitcher instead of one of the more durable starters of his time, whether he might not be able to jack it up to 98 miles per hour too. Right back to the mound. And the A's have lost the first game here in Minnesota, but they've come back to win the next 3. That's the way they've gone over the last 10 weeks or so.
Well, as much as we hate to see a team beat the Twins 3 out of 4 games, it was interesting to see how good this A's team has become all of a sudden, and that their record since June, how hot they've been, is absolutely no fluke. This is a good ball club.
And Anthony, in advance of what figures to be a tough road trip, the Twins will head off onto the road now with a 3-game losing streak.
And they're not the first team to go down 3 out of 4 against this Oakland club. Oakland is now 45-16 in their last 61 games. We'll show you how they got to the Twins again here today. Matt Chapman was dominant. We'll hear from Paul Molitor and preview the road trip next on Twins Live.